All the links to the original posts are given in the description. So now let's head straight to the video.
I have a long-distance dilemma with a girl. Little background, so I am friends with my HR manager, Casey, who is from Wisconsin. About 2 months ago she came to NY for work and it was our first time meeting. She's close with my good friends at work, so we were all hanging out and getting dinner one night after spending a whole day together, and my boss joked around and said, "We gotta find you a girlfriend." So Casey said she had a friend in mind for me and showed me a picture, and I said she was cute. Fast forward 2 weeks and her friend, Megan, messaged me on Instagram and we started talking and texting. Over the past month we have texted a lot and got to know each other. Her and Casey decided to come to NY this weekend to visit and basically for me and Megan to hang out. We have hung out the last 3 days and get along well, and last night we had sex. We have not discussed us being girlfriend, boyfriend, but now I'm getting afraid she might think that since we had sex, that she might think I'm down to have a long distance relationship. For anyone who isn't familiar with the distance, it's around 920 miles away from where I live. I like Megan and we get along well, but I also don't currently have that super strong, head over heels feeling that I've had once before with a girl in the past. I'm a grad student, so I don't have a ton of time or money to be flying to Wisconsin often, and she doesn't make a ton of money to where she could be visiting NY often. I'm afraid that when it comes time to that discussion, I will hurt her by saying I don't want long distance. If she lived in NY, I would be willing to try dating, but unfortunately that's not the case and I feel kinda guilty, I guess. I'm not entirely ruling out long distance because she's still here for another 2 days and I guess my feelings could get stronger, but I'm 90% sure I don't want long distance. It has nothing to do with her personally, just geographically. I don't want a relationship where almost all our communication is over a cell phone. How should I go about this? TLDR, met a girl who lives 920 miles away and I like her, but I'm not head over heels for her. I'm afraid she will be hurt when I say I don't want long distance, even though she and I have not discussed dating or anything. Not sure how to navigate here on out. It's clear that you are in a bit of a tricky situation, and it's important to approach it with honesty and sensitivity. Here are some steps to consider. Communicate your feelings. Since you've had an intimate encounter, it's essential to have an open and honest conversation with Megan about your feelings. Let her know that you enjoyed your time together and appreciate her company, but you're uncertain about a long-distance relationship due to the geographical distance and your current life situation. Express your concerns. Be clear about why you are hesitant about long-distance relationships. Mention your busy schedule as a grad student and the financial constraints of traveling frequently. Explain that it's not a reflection of her as a person, but rather a practical consideration. Listen to her. Give Megan an opportunity to share her thoughts and feelings. She may have her own perspective on the situation and what she is looking for in a relationship. It's essential to be receptive and empathetic to her side of the story. Keep it casual. If you both are not ready for a committed, long-distance relationship, you can discuss keeping your connection more casual. This means you can continue to talk, be friends, or even explore the possibility of meeting up when circumstances allow, without the pressure of a full-fledged relationship. Set expectations. Ensure that both of you are on the same page about what you want from this connection. Setting clear expectations will help prevent misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Give it time. Since you mentioned that your feelings might evolve, it's okay to take your time and see how you feel over the next couple of days or weeks. It's also possible that you might develop stronger feelings with more time spent together. Be kind and respectful, regardless of the outcome of your conversation. Treat Megan with kindness and respect. It's essential to be considerate of her feelings, as she may have different expectations or hopes. Remember that relationships can be complex, and it's okay to prioritize what works best for your life. Honesty and clear communication will help both you and Megan navigate this situation with minimal hurt and misunderstanding. Now let's move on to the next story. The boy that has a crush on me gives me mixed signals. What should I do? There is a boy who is a cousin of my best friend's boyfriend. My bestie and her boyfriend thought we would understand each other and decided to make us meet each other a week ago. He is a year older than me and we go to the same med school, therefore we talked a lot since meeting each other. He is an introvert, so am I, but in a much less form lol. The people we were with drank a little and we went to the bar. He talked to me about everything, even asked me what type of men I like. The next day he met me, my bestie gave him my number. Then he started studying in the same library where I go every day and we meet each other every day there. During breaks he asks me to go somewhere to eat, play tennis, gives me so much attention. But today we were for a walk with my bestie, his boyfriend and 2 other children. Me and him went with dogs to the field and were alone there. But during that 45 minutes he did not say a word. I asked him why he was silent and he answered that silent was the greatest thing. Lol. I agree with him as an introvert, but when you are sitting next to a person you have a crush, silent should be on the bottom of your list. Also, he is not the person who has female friends, he is such an introvert. He told my bestie on the day we first met each other that he liked me so much. As our relationship is new and we are still discovering each other's personalities, I do not want to talk him seriously about his mixed signals, but I want to punish him for this. How should I act? What should I do in this situation? TLDR, the boy I met a week ago gives me mixed signals. It's clear that you're in a situation where the guy you've recently met is giving you mixed signals, and you're feeling a bit confused about his intentions. Here are a few things to consider. Understand his personality. It's important to remember that introverted people often express interest differently from extroverts. Silence might be his way of feeling comfortable, especially if he's usually not talkative. You mentioned that you both are introverts, so give him some space and time to open up at his own pace. Communication is key. Instead of trying to punish him, consider talking to him openly and honestly about how you feel. Let him know that his behavior is confusing you and you'd like to understand his intentions better. This doesn't have to be a confrontational conversation. You can approach it in a friendly and understanding manner. Observe his actions. Pay attention to his actions over time. Sometimes, actions speak louder than words. If he continues to spend time with you, make an effort to engage with you, and show interest in your life, these are positive signs. Give it time. 1 week is a short period to make judgments about someone's behavior, especially when you're both getting to know each other. Relationships, romantic or otherwise, take time to develop. It's normal for people to be unsure or cautious in the early stages. Trust your instincts. Ultimately, trust your instincts. If you feel uncomfortable or that the mixed signals are causing you distress, it's okay to take a step back or reevaluate the situation. Your feelings and comfort should be a priority. Stay open-minded. Keep in mind that relationships can be complex, and not everything is black and white. People may have various reasons for their behavior, so try not to jump to conclusions too quickly. In summary, consider discussing your concerns with him. Give the relationship time to develop, and remain open-minded. If his mixed signals persist or you find that the relationship isn't making you happy, it's okay to reevaluate and make decisions that are in your best interest. Now let's move to the next story. I have reached a relationship block with my sister. Hello Reddit. I'm 25 and my sister is 28. I'm making this post to ask for some outside opinions because I feel quite unsure if I'm being too demanding. I'd appreciate it if anyone who reads this and decides to respond could try and be kind and remember that I too am human and in a not very good space mentally, so please try and be kind in your replies. My sister left the country last year and currently lives on a whole other continent. We had a very close relationship, and the lockdown deepened that bond even more. The first few months after she moving, she was homesick, so we kept in touch quite frequently. A few months ago, my sister had an old friends over at her place for 2 weeks and decided she wanted to be there for her 100%, so that meant that I couldn't call her or expect her to answer my texts right away. However, during that time, she made an exception for her boyfriend of 1 month, which made me feel sad. She told me she did that because her boyfriend had told her they would break up if she didn't talk to him. Recently, she and her boyfriend went on an 11-day vacation, and she again decided that she wanted some time away from everyone else just to be with him. I was sad but okay with the no-call rule, but after the first few days, she stopped sending photos and videos of the places they were going and didn't respond to things I sent her, like YouTube shorts and stuff. Throughout the years, this was one of our modes of communication. We sent each other stuff we found interesting or things we knew the other one would like, so I felt lonely that with calls being out of the picture, now this is also not possible. She later said when I confronted her about it after she got back, that she didn't find them urgent and that she thought she could just watch them later after her vacation. I also sent her a poem I wrote because she used to like my poems, and she just said she'll read it later and she did so but after her vacation. I was also sick with a cold at the time and having a heavy bleeding during my period, and I told her that I would really appreciate if I could talk with her, but she said she was also on her period, and the answer was still a no. The day she got back, I was feeling down and was thinking of unaliving myself, so I asked her if she was at work and if I could call her, but she didn't respond. Later, I found out she decided to spend the day with her boyfriend, resting after their long flight, and even though she was back, the no-call rule was still in place because it was still part of her vacation. This makes me feel like I'm being too demanding or having unreasonable expectations. I told her she wasn't there for me when I needed her, and she said everyone keeps saying that to her, and she's tired of everyone saying that when she tries to be there for them at all the other times. Before the vacation, we agreed that she would send a video message every day so I could know she was okay, and she kept saying she loved me and missed me in her video messages, but her actions made me feel puzzled and find it hard to believe. Even when I wrote her a wall of text yesterday, she said she was too drained to respond to them because it wasn't reaching a resolution, and she was already drained thinking about what I might say in response to her replies. I don't know if I'm being a jerk or am wrong for expecting her support. Any advice on how to tackle this situation and keep the relationship going is welcome. If you have any ideas for any side of this situation on things to work on or do, that would be appreciated. I have sent my sister a draft before posting this and she's going to read the comments as well. Let me know in the comments what you think, and please be kind, even if you think I'm a selfish jerk. TLDR, with a new person in my sister's life, she seems to have gotten distant and I feel unappreciated, and that I have lost her support. How should we tackle this relationship block? I'm really sorry to hear that you're going through a difficult time, and it's clear that you're struggling with your relationship with your sister. It's essential to approach this situation with empathy and understanding for both your sister's perspective and your own feelings. First, it's important to recognize that people and their priorities can change over time. Your sister's newfound relationship may be consuming more of her attention and energy, which is quite common in the early stages of a romantic connection. This doesn't necessarily mean she values your relationship any less, but it might be her way of balancing her personal life. On the other hand, your feelings are valid, and it's crucial for your sister to understand the impact her actions are having on you. Communication is key. Try to have an open and honest conversation with her about how you've been feeling. Express your concerns, explain your need for support, and listen to her perspective as well. Understanding each other's point of view can be a significant step in resolving the conflict. Here are some steps you can take. Communicate clearly. Share your feelings and concerns with your sister without blame or accusations. Use I statements to express how her actions have made you feel. Be understanding. Try to understand her side of the story as well. A new relationship can be intense, and she may need some space to nurture it. Set boundaries. Discuss what you both expect from each other in terms of communication and support, and find a balance that works for both of you. Prioritize self-care. Focus on taking care of your own mental and emotional well-being. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist if needed. Give it time. Relationships go through phases, and this may be a temporary adjustment. Give her the space she needs for her new relationship while staying connected in a way that feels comfortable for both of you. Remember, it's essential for both of you to approach this with empathy and a willingness to compromise. Your sister should acknowledge your feelings and try to find a way to maintain your bond, while you should also respect her need for personal space and time in her new relationship. It's possible to work through this and find a balance that allows your relationship to continue to grow. Now for the last story. I am the sensible snowflake in the relationship with my girlfriend. How do I deal with her being more callous? The title says it, but I am starting to see the effects of me being more sensible than her and how this difference challenges the usual couple roles. It is a bit hard to keep everything together when you don't really land in that classic man definition of manly. I want to be clear, I am not doubting the relationship, but how to better deal with this. If I feel uncomfortable because she is raising her voice with her parents and being disrespectful, I try to look at her and make her understand to tone it down a bit. She says I'm exaggerating. All the misunderstanding goes along this type of difference. She doesn't care that much of what others feel around her. She is not this evil mess that I make her seem. I love her, she is just moderately less empathetic. And lately, with inconsistent medications for her ADHD, and a bit of awakening, meaning she is trying to find herself, she is a bit harder to deal with. Yes, I talked with her. I am stuck in a loop. When I try to talk about this with her, she just says that it might be my problem, that I am too sensitive, and just deal with it. What I think shouldn't undermine her freedom of speech per se. What I'd like, it's not even related to not talking or not saying what she thinks. That a plus for me, and she should be free to talk and say whatever she likes. But when she passes the line and visibly makes someone else and or me feel uncomfortable, that's when I try to sneak in and let her understand, without talking in front of others, that she is a bit over the top. She just says the same thing. She feels limited if she has to double check the tone, and I am an asshole for saying anything like this. I don't know what to do. This is what you can call a couple crisis, since she is like this since the start of her therapy. And I know this might change, but I am not comfortable sitting there like a dog watching her scream or just be over the top with people and not getting any positive feedback. I feel like a grandma in the couple dealing with the ADHD nephew for a while. Any tips? It's clear that you care deeply about your girlfriend and want the best for your relationship. Dealing with differences in sensitivity and communication styles can be challenging, but it's important to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. Here are some tips for navigating this situation. Open communication. It's great that you've already tried talking to her about your concerns. Continue to have open and honest conversations about your feelings. Explain to her that it's not about limiting her freedom of speech but creating a more harmonious environment for both of you. Empathetic approach. Rather than framing the issue as her being less empathetic, Try to understand her perspective. It's possible that her ADHD and her journey of self-discovery are contributing to her behavior. Express empathy for her challenges and support her in her efforts to find herself. Set boundaries. It's essential to establish boundaries that work for both of you. Discuss what behaviors make you uncomfortable and what compromises can be made. Be clear about your expectations and ask her about hers as well. Therapy or counseling. Since you mentioned that she's had discontinued therapy, it might be helpful to suggest revisiting it or trying counseling together. A therapist can help you both navigate your differences and provide tools for effective communication. Self-reflection. It's also important for you to reflect on your own sensitivity and expectations. Everyone has their unique communication style, and what seems insensitive to you might not be the same for others. Try to find a balance between expressing your feelings and allowing her to express herself without feeling judged. Support her ADHD management. Encourage her to maintain a consistent ADHD management routine. Consistent treatment can help her regulate her emotions and improve her behavior. Seek compromise. Look for ways to compromise in the relationship. It's not about changing her personality but finding common ground that allows both of you to feel comfortable. Seek support. Sometimes it can be beneficial to seek advice from a relationship counselor or therapist who can provide an objective perspective and offer guidance on how to address these issues. Remember that relationships require effort from both sides. It's essential to find a balance that works for both of you and to respect each other's differences while striving for a harmonious and healthy partnership. If your girlfriend's behavior continues to make you feel uncomfortable, and there's no progress, you may need to consider whether this relationship is the right fit for both of you in the long term. If you like the story, hit the like and don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.